hexagram 55 in the Gnostic Book of Changes. Judgment. Don't grieve when the truth hurts. A loss of illusion is a gain in awareness. Once truly attained, enlightenment cannot be lost. It can only be increased. So it's interesting because it talked about Kundalini in the secret hexagram as being the hidden influence behind things, and this hexagram talks about enlightenment. The superior man acts with clarity by accurately evaluating cause and effect, or the objective assessment of any contradiction is the road to comprehending it. The 55th hexagram is very intriguing in that it appears to have a misleading title in the original Chinese, which is usually translated as abundance, fullness, prosperity, etc. All of the internal clues plus empirical experiences with the figure have convinced me that the title Expansion of Awareness is a more accurate description of the forces operating in this hexagram. Here's my reasoning. First, the component trigrams of clarity and movement portray action directed by clear comprehension, as well as awareness itself in motion or expansion. The title of abundance seems misleading because it suggests a relatively static condition, whereas the combined trigrams in the figure symbolize clear movement. These trigrams appear in reverse sequence in hexagram number 21, discernment, which symbolizes the act of comprehending, a dynamic function of consciousness described in the image here as a quest for justice. Thus, the superior man decides lawsuits and carries out punishments. Wilhelm. Notice also that the message for the superior man in this image is almost identical with that in discernment. Thus, the kings of former times made firm the laws through clearly defined penalties. Wilhelm. The ancient kings can always be taken as symbolic of archetypal forces or the gods, so their laws are those of nature, not of humankind. Interpreted broadly, both messages counsel us to comprehend the law of Tao or suffer the penalties of ignorance, which is to say, expand your awareness. Second, note the message in the judgment. Most of the translators render this by comparing the king at the peak of his power with the sun at the peak of its illumination at noon. The sun is the symbol of clarity and enlightenment, and the sun at its zenith therefore symbolizes a high point of awareness. In Lu Yiming's Taoist I Ching, it talks about when you put the kindling underneath the fire, the pot, when you're stoking the fire, when the medicine is created, which it says it has been created, when the great elixir is crystallized or created, then you are to immediately stop the fire so as not to damage the medicine. So that also is something alchemically that should be noted here.